G'day everybody, once again I'm joined by Gazza. Gazza, how's it going?
Yeah, I had some treatment last week. Didn't quite get through the extended part because of my blood test results, but I had another blood test on Monday and it came back pretty good, so they've got me under control.
Good man, good man. You've been still watching the rugby despite your treatment?
Yeah, been watching all the rugby.
Super Rugby's come down to the first round of the playoffs. We got 3 games. Can you see any of the away sides getting wins? Because the first one you got Crusaders up against the Reds.
Yeah, I think the Reds might go close, but I think the Crusaders now with their All Blacks back might just get home.
They've been defensively very sound, haven't they?
Yeah, there could be an upset, but I think the Crusaders will do it.
Then you got our Blues down in Hamilton.
Yeah.
Number 1 up against number 6.
Yeah, well, everyone's picking the Blues to get a hiding, but I don't think so. I think they'll go close.
Okay.
But I think the Chiefs will just scrape through.
And then what maybe is the tastiest one, and both of these teams might still survive, is the Canes away to the Brumbies.
Yeah, that's that could come down to golden point, that game. That's a hard one to pick. The Brumbies play this New Zealand style game. They're pretty good. And the Hurricanes are playing some unbelievable football, but even with a Moore out, their replacements are pretty good. I really wouldn't want to pick it, to be honest. I don't normally sit on the fence, but I think the Brumbies might just sneak home.
Yeah.
But if they happen to come up against in a return match, I'd back the Hurricanes.
Okay. Well, both teams could still make it. If the Reds and the Blues lose and the Hurricanes, we will know by that game whether the Hurricanes' future is on the line or not.
I think the Hurricanes could be a very dangerous side for anybody if they advance.
Do you think this is the Chiefs' year where they finally get it done, or are they going to have the pressure get to them?
99% yes.
99%
They play an
yes.
unbelievable football.
Yeah.
I just hope the complacency doesn't scrape them off the bottom of the barrel. And we know that can happen.
Yeah, they got some good players and good form.
Oh, yeah, they got a lot of good players.
What about the teams which didn't make the playoffs? What did you think of Moana's season?
Moana Pacific, yeah, I think they played their final, like you said on your podcast, against Auckland, but they had a really great season with Artie Severe, and they want to do it next year. They're going to have the same player with them.
Yeah. Do you think that performance of this season is going to help with recruitment, maybe, where it's more of an attractive prospect for people to go?
Yeah, it'll be strong for recruitment.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's hopefully an important season for Moana's future, because
the recruitment will be good.
Yeah, this year is the first year where they've really been, I think, quite
good coaches, good players.
Yeah, quite meaningful contribution.
They might lose a few, but they'll gain a few too.
Where do you see the Landers at?
The Landers, they had a bit of a disappointing season, but they're a young side, 22. They're a team of the future.
A lot of losing bonus points.
Yeah, a lot of losing bonus points. They're going to lose they might lose a couple of players, but if they keep the majority of the squad together and keep Jamie Joseph there, well, they're going to go a long way in the next 2 or 3 years.
What about the Force and the Waratahs?
Yeah, well, the Force and the Waratahs are a bit of an enigma of Australian rugby. Both got the ability. I think their future lies about a bit of a stronger recruitment to overcome the big injury tolls that they can have, and they might have a different situation, but it's going to be a battle. More for the Force than New South Wales, because the Force have to do a lot of travelling, and that's a bugbear for them. But they're still a good. They produced some good rugby, and so did the Waratahs. And have they got the right coaches? Yes, they have. I think their stronger recruitment will be their key, I think.
Well, hopefully they can also keep a stable squad as well, because I feel like sometimes there's the Waratahs had a lot of chopping and changing this year. I feel like the Force has a fair amount of turnover as well. If they can keep a stable core, I think they could go all right. And you mentioned travel. What about the Drua? When are they going to win on the road?
I think it's more of a mental than a physical thing for the Drua. They got to get that mental toughness exercise for travelling and winning. Have they got the right coaches? Yes, they have.
You think Glenn Jackson can do the job with them? Yeah. Okay. I'm not convinced, but we'll give him time. The All Blacks. Do you see any bolters in their squad?
There could be a few bolters, but
Simon Parker, do you like the look of him?
yeah, he's got to be in the conversation. He might not make it, but he's in the conversation.
We've got a lot of good loose forwards.
Oh, we've got a lot of loose forwards. Devon Flanders, I mean, we've got that many. It's a blessing in disguise, but it's also a nuisance as well because so many of them aren't going to get selected.
Do you think Caleb Tangitau did enough in the limited time we saw him, or did he need to really finish the season, which we didn't get to see because of his injury?
Yeah, I think he's done enough to get into the squad, but whether they pick him or not, I think that I don't know. He's going to go close.
Yep.
If he doesn't make the squad, he's going to be on the waiting list for attrition for players to get hurt.
Do you think AJ Lamb could be there as a utility?
Yes, he's on the list as well. Yep.
Okay. Anybody else who's on your bolters potential list?
Peter Umaga Jensen, he's going to be on the list as well. Balin Sullivan could be close, but we will see. We got Tapira and Anton Leonard Brown injured at the moment. Now they're going to come back at some stage, but we got some mighty good loose midfielders, mighty midfielders at the moment.
Yeah, midfield looks all right. Proctor's having a good,
Yeah, Proctor will be there.
Fit.
Rico Ioane will be there. Don't worry about the talk. He's going to be there.
Everyone loves Rico.
Everyone loves Rico.
And what about the Wallabies? How do you think they're looking ahead of the Lions tour?
I think they're looking pretty good. I think they're...
Joe Schmidt's got 30-odd guys who can do a job?
Yeah, Joe Schmidt and Gles Kiss, yeah. I reckon they're going to take a test off the Lions. They might not win the series, but they're going to win a test. That's my prediction.
What's the most likely test the Wallabies win? The first one, as the Lions are still getting together? The second one? Or maybe even a third one? Second one.
Second most likely, third, maybe. We'll see.
Okay. Well, it's going to be an interesting series.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be hard fought, but the Wallabies are going to. I think the Wallabies are going to have a good account of themselves.
I think we saw enough from the sides in Super Rugby, even if they only got 2 out of their 4 sides in the playoffs. I think the quality of rugby they've been playing is decent. I think it's good enough to choose 23, 30 guys.
Oh yeah, I think they've got 30 players that can play Test rugby.
I feel like the quality has been higher this year than last year.
Yeah, since they've got rid of the Rebels.
I think so. I was having a look at the results the other day, and the results aren't drastically different, but I do feel like the quality of the games is higher this year.
Yeah. I think Fiji have got, what's their coach now, Mick Byrne?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a good coach. He's looking good. Yep, he'll be good for Fijian rugby.
I hope so. I think they're a lot of people's second team, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they play exciting rugby, Fiji, and even though they might not, win a lot, they produce a lot of spectacular tries, don't they?
That's it. They're always a fun team to watch.
And we got a lot of good Fijian players in New Zealand too.
That's it.
Yeah, so, we're going to have a bit of a talk about Richie Moana and Shannon Frizzell, if you like. There's a lot of talk about them coming back. Yeah, well, that's, to be honest and fair, I don't mind that. If they come back in next year and play for the All Blacks.
If Richie comes back, does he waltz straight back into the number 10 jersey?
No, he doesn't.
He has to go to the back of the queue?
He has to come in slowly. Shannon Frizzell, now, let's have a bit of a decent talk about this. I mean, there's been a lot of publicity about it, eh? It's a bit like the Rico Ioane situation. Some of the rugby pundits and analysts can't stop talking about it. Now, we know from previous experience, and you and I have discussed this many times on your channel, Blimmin, Retallick and Barrett and McKenzie, to name a few that come back from Japan.
Yeah.
It takes at least a year to get back to the All Black standard that you had previously. Now, is it going to take these guys that long? I don't think so, but it's going to take a good 6 months. Do they roll straight back in? No, they don't.
Okay.
Do they come back in? Yes, they do, and they've got to earn the spot.
I think with Razor in charge, there's a good chance Richie goes straight back in at 10.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, Scott Robinson last year, I felt like he picked too many Crusaders, and I sort of understand that, and I think this year it's a very important year for Scott Robinson and his team. because there's some pretty good players in that Waikato team, that Chiefs team, boy, and if they don't get selected, there's got to be some of them on the attrition list rate. Maybe some of the Blues, maybe see how far they go and how they play. The Crusaders are definitely going to have their fair share of players, and they deservedly so.
Well, they're playing better rugby this year.
Yeah, they're playing far better rugby, and there could be a couple of surprises out of the Highlanders.
Maybe a bolter or two. Fabian Holland is another guy who gets, talked about.
There's a couple of guys, this guy Jacob.
Josh Jacob.
Yeah,
Wait, no, he's the Chiefs
guy.
guy.
Jacob, the fullback keepers.
Ratu Maitavuki.
Yeah. He could be on the list for an All Black B team, and Taramadai, and there's a couple of other guys down there that are looking pretty good. So we will see. Fabian Holland.
Yep.
And the Hurricanes. I think they're going to have a few in there, boy, because they're playing unbelievable rugby. And
he can only pick so many.
Yeah, I would say he's going to pick 35-man squad, but he's going to have at least 15 players on his attrition rate list. So that takes us through to 50.
That's a fair chunk.
And that's a fair chunk. And there is going to be a high attrition rate. We know that, and from previous experience. And the Bolters, well... We'll just wait and see, I think. You got any bolters?
It might depend on what team the French end up picking or sending down.
Oh, I think they'll send down a good squad. They've got a bit of a landmark agreement. Do you know much about that?
I think it'll depend, though, on which teams make it how far in the top 14 playoff matches. So we'll kind of have to
Are they going to be able to send players down during the tour?
I'm not sure. I'm sure they could.
Yeah.
If they wanted to kind of pick up late.
Yeah, I think they're going to be competitive.
I hope so. They got lots of depth in France.
Yeah,
probably more than anyone else at the moment.
That's true.
Yeah. All right, Gazza.
Yep.
Good to see you.
Yep.
And take care, folks. Thank you for being here.
Okay. See you later, team. Bye. Stay safe. Take care.